Hello, and welcome back to Homeschool Matters. This is part 3 of how to create a high school transcript using gather round units. Today we're going to be focusing in on the elective options with gather round. If you missed part 1 and part 2, you may want to go back and watch those, and I will link those in the description below. Part 1 had to do with histories, and part 2 had to do with the science options. So let's get started.
Just remember that these course titles that I have written down, these are just recommendations. If you choose to use something else that you prefer better, that's totally fine, of course. These are just suggestions. So if you were to use careers and trades, entrepreneurship, and life skills all together, you could combine that to make a full credit in what's called career and life management. If you complete careers and trades and entrepreneurship, you could get a half credit or a full credit in occupational education. For a credit in health, you could do human body, growing up with God, and sports and PE. As I have mentioned in previous videos in this series, single units are worth a quarter credit unless you add in books, videos, documentaries, experiments, rabbit trails, extension activities, or any extra research. So the following units would be considered single units. So the first one would be art, would be just called art appreciation, or you can call it art 101. For the history of music, you could call that music appreciation or music 101. And with sports and PE, you can call that physical ed. There is a heavy emphasis on apologetics in the dinosaurs unit, so that could be considered an elective called apologetics. And for entrepreneurship, you could just call that business 101, and the Growing Up with God series could be health. With life skills, I was originally going to call that home economics, but after completing the unit, a better name we realized would be Life Skills 101. It includes a lot more than just home economics. It's packed full of lots of different life skills. And then farming and food may be titled industrial agriculture, and living off the land, we like to call that homesteading 101. Some people also prefer to put living off the land in with their history units, kind of mixing it in with their U.S. history mini units, somewhere around U.S. history 3 or 4. With National Parks of North America, there's a heavy focus on ecosystems and survival skills, so I put it down as ecosystems and survival skills 101, but I do want to add that they also focus in on character building because there's like a living story that Rebecca wrote throughout that as well as they visit the different national parks. And then the Unsolved Mysteries, we titled that Intro to Forensic Science because there was a worksheet every day on forensic science. Some people have also chosen to use it as a history unit since it is talking about different mysteries of the past. Now, Bible is sprinkled throughout all the other units, but Rebecca did do some mini units called James, as well as Pentecost, and I think she just released another one about biblical feasts. Those could all be used for Bible credit. However, I do think that they have started a new website. I believe it's called Fully Surrendered, and I think that is where you would have to order that at this time. Gather Round does have a number of wonderful holiday mini units to choose from for extracurricular. They have 3 different units for Christmas. They have the first Christmas, Christmas Around the World, which is excellent. We loved that one so much. And then Old Fashioned Christmas. He is Risen is the Easter mini unit, which is excellent. And there's St. Patrick's Day, Thanksgiving, as well as Valentine's Day. Well, I hope this was helpful. Next on Homeschool Matters, you're going to get a sneak peek at what a high school transcript looks like using Gather Around, as I will show you what our daughter has done, and also making a high school battle plan for an 8th grader. So stay tuned to Homeschool Matters.